last point, because this is going longer than I want. Nothing changes. Doing the exact same thing. Like, I understand this dynamic, that you need a certain number of people to vote for you and everything. It's fair enough. And I even understand that you need to be able to work with the other Democrats. Fair enough. By the same token, the fact that your base is flipping out about this should get across how pissed off people are. And it's not just your base. I would wager to you, if you just walked out, the very fact that you won gets across a certain degree of how pissed off people are. They put you in office over somebody who's been in there for God knows how long. They want something different. They look at this because they want something different. They look at this and say, okay, will she hold her shape? All of this is an issue of trust. Will she hold her shape? I'm just giving you a heads up. What Nico is saying here is not wrong. This thing of you've put people in somewhat of a difficult position because, you know, people have advocated and they're not necessarily sure if you're going to hold your shape. It's the Alex Jones issue. Alex Jones is a defender of Donald Trump. And Alex Jones, after Donald Trump bombed Syria, Alex Jones comes out and flips out. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's one of the best shows Alex Jones has ever done. He literally flips out. I think Alex Jones is a goofball. And I think after that show, I was like, wow, that was an amazing show. Whatever you want to think of him, the guy is an amazing salesman or an amazing showman. Amazing showman. Creative experiments. Jamarl, you're constantly being surprised by Democrats. You need to lower your expectation. You'll be much happier doing your show. No, I'm not constantly surprised by Democrats. I literally started that oh God, I'm not answering that. Cuomo argues it was a fluke. Yeah, after handily beating his progressive opponent. Democrats aren't looking to capitulate. No, they're not. And what's wild about that, on the show where she's saying vote Cuomo, there's a little blurb at the bottom that says Cuomo says her win was a fluke. Her win was a fluke. Martian Villagers. JT, I asked you yesterday, I would ask you again, how would you avoid being fooled by fake Democrats? I don't think she's a fake. That's the part that I think you're missing. I think that's shallow thinking. Anybody who ties themselves to Bernie is doomed to compromise. I don't think that, man. Like, all right, first, let's be clear on our terms. I don't know what fake means. I have no idea what fake means. I know what I mean by fake. I don't know what you mean by fake. If we are talking about somebody who didn't believe what they were saying, then I think you're wrong. I don't think that's true at all. The same thing with Sanders. If you're making the point that the person doesn't believe it, then I think you're wrong. If you're saying that person will compromise, that's not the same thing as being fake. That's the person compromising. Now, you can say that the person shouldn't compromise, but that's a different thing than calling a person fake. I hope that point, I hope we'll make the point clear. We can make the argument about compromise, but I want to make that clear that fake doesn't apply. It fails in its description of reality. That's the point I'm making. Second point, if we're going with this idea of they compromise, it depends on what they compromise on. Politics is compromise. You're never going to get everything you want. It depends on what it is. If it's, you know, Medicare for all doesn't include abortions, yeah, that's not necessarily what I want, but is that a compromise I'm willing to take? Yes, I am. It depends on what you mean by compromise. Fake meaning they're incrementalists and willing to spend 1,000 years fighting for small changes, meanwhile they're promoting big changes. That I don't agree. No, I don't agree with that part. You honestly believe that Sanders, left to his own devices, would do incremental change from the perspective of what's taking place here? He's had Stephanie Kelton. Let's be very clear on this, because I think you're wrong. Sanders has Stephanie Kelton in his campaign. Stephanie Kelton is out there talking about, you know, we're looking at money wrong, and that we should be using money in this kind of MMT way without her saying MMT, and explaining to people why having fiat currency allows far more latitude in the way that we should be going about doing our affairs. Meaning this austerity stuff is nonsense. That's a sea change. Like, that's a fundamental difference in the way they're even looking at money itself. And your thing is saying that's incrementalism. That's not incrementalism. Bernie talked big changes, but he really just wanted Democrats to be a bit nicer. Yes and no. You can make the same argument about FDR. Yeah, FDR to some degree compromised to, you could say, save capitalism. But those compromises were major compromises. So major, in fact, that they were literally the mold of Democrats for the last 70, 80 years. You can say Sanders compromised, fair enough. You can say he was broken, fair enough. I would even agree with you on that. But you can't say he's fake. Or you can't say he was just doing it just because he wanted to make Democrats a little bit nicer. No, I think he wants to see change. I think he wants to see change. I'm going to have to start getting call-ins again, man. I like arguing with you guys. I like fighting with my audience. I love fighting with my audience. FDR was an imperialist who undermined third parties and stifled. Yes, that's true. And stifled the growing strike movement. That is true. He was forced by the movement to do New Deal. Yes, that's true. That I agree with you on. That I agree with you on. Yes, I agree. I agree. We found consensus. We found consensus. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I got so much into the debate. Vote blue. Vote blue. They're all poo. Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. Let's be honest. If Cory Booker ever endorsed me or the Democrats asked me to support any of their candidates, I'd stop my campaigning immediately. If I'm doing something where that can't even be conceived, I'm no longer representing my constituents.